Wow. Tamer. We're back to the 1v1. Berserker versus Sorceress. So we have long lockdowns, grabs, and CCs versus the iframe base from Stamina from the Sorceress. Both strong duelists.
This Berserker's very good, so
it's hard to say that one is necessarily a better duelist because it'll come down to how they play.
It's going to be a hard match.
Right.
Berserker's going to have to close in here and engage, and that grab might be the CC they need. Really great rocket jump out of there.
Both players playing it pretty passively, capped at 80%.
There he goes.
That's
That's
the
match right there.
As the Grim Reaper gets charged, the Berserker moves in for the grab.
Good night.
Two grabs.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
It's over just like that.
That was well done. Now, we only saw it for a second,
Yeah.
but the Sorceress in that position was actually charging up a Grim Reaper, which would do pretty strong damage if it did connect. The Berserker was just waiting for something like that. That's a lot of times what you'll have to do. You'll have to wait for an ability to be used, and as soon as you see the first flash of it occurring, that's your trigger to react, because that Grim Reaper will do a lot of damage if you get hit by it.
That Berserker looked like he saw that in less than a quarter of a second. The second that he knew he was going to be stuck in an ability, closed the distance, got the CC, one shot, flipped it to the second grab, and that was it. He analyzed the weakness in his opponent, and he capitalized. Almost an instant. That was really, really quick decision making.
Yeah, that was pretty nice
there.
That was good.
Awesome win.
So one of the first tournaments that ever happened on the at least North American server of Black Desert Online was a Berserker versus a Sorceress, which is what we just saw there. The Berserker chased the Sorceress around for quite a while, minutes. I'm talking about Ozamir, if you remember that. And it took him actually five grabs back then because we didn't have the same AP.
Oh, okay.
So now you can see 2 grabs is all it took, and this higher tier level of gear in the world champion on the Korean server.
You can see how the difference in gear, as we've been talking about earlier on in today, the difference in gear between where that tournament took place and where these guys are right now is very different.
Can you read the name of the Berserker?
Pinaminia?
Pinaminia.
Yeah,
Was
you
that
got it
good?
right.
Okay,
Wow.
there we go.
Oh.
Watch out on that one.
This is still the same team as we've seen.
Right.
This was 2-0 going into the third match.
Right, so this is round 3.
So they just came back and got the final, the equalizer right now. The red team, I'll say. The team on the left has a chance to win, and the team on the right's if they don't win this match, it's over for them.
Right.
So we've got Archer Sork versus Tamer DK.
And Archer Sork is the one with 1 win, not 2. So, we have 7% on the Tamer immediate V. This is the 1v2. The Dark Knight is the 1v2. This could be the turn right here, depending on what happens with the Sork and the Archer engage. They're trying. We're not getting the CCs. That Dark Knight is rotating super armors and just zoning well while that teammate is coming up from V. I really thought he was going to go down right there.
It looked pretty bad. They got another CC right there. They are picking on that Archer, making it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Less than 2 seconds, both of those guys.
So as they came out of V right there, we just had that quick engage, and after one fell, they stayed on him at that point.
I would have really liked to have seen more from that Archer. It seemed like that Archer was the #1 target every single one of those fights that just took out all of his ability to do anything effective, and that put the rest of his team in a really bad spot. It was over the second that Archer was out. That 2v1 was really difficult to come back from, but it looks like both those guys got caught in the same combo. It's a great way to do it effectively.
Yeah, I definitely did see it. So let's talk about what classes. So what classes haven't we seen yet today?
We haven't seen.
So I guess Warrior.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, Warrior.
That's my main.
Shai.
Okay, we haven't seen the Shai. Yeah, that's a good point. And KR has had Shai.
We saw Valk in the first round.
Right.
Yeah, we did.
Good catch on that.
Yeah.
Saw Melly. When did the KR server get Shai? How long has that been playable?
I think till tomorrow.
When first was it released in the KR server?
What was that?
When first did you guys get Shai? Because we have it in NA.
Oh.
I know you guys got it before us.
We got it about 6 months ago.
I'm sorry.
We got her about 6 months ago.
6 months ago, okay. And for sure that's enough time, I would say.
Of course.
For people to get extremely high gear for the Shai.
They could always buy the
Ah, yes.
The weapon change.
They can always,
yeah,
they can always buy the weapon change. Honestly, I didn't even think about that.
First, guys.
I was thinking more of the people that hold the fail stacks, and we know a lot from the top guilds in an A will typically day one attempt pens.
Top guilds as well as top players. They've been ready for this. They've been saving up. They've been preparing their boxes the second that stuff comes out. So even on day one, I think almost every server we heard that there was pen attempts and pen successes as soon as those classes came into the game, especially Shai.
Yeah.
I know I saw a lot of pen kudos myself.
So I'm getting this from chat. So Shai was released at all at the same time. So that's good. I want to get that correction. Thank you guys. So what that means is that we've had, and we know from an A, there are plenty of amazingly geared out Shais. So just the fact that we've not seen it yet does not represent that it was a new class, that people haven't had time to practice it or use it. And that's a really good, interesting call that Shai hasn't been shown up in this tournament. I think we'll see it.
I
don't think that we're going to see a Shai take.
Okay.
Really?
Not at all.
So that's interesting.
Okay.
But you do. You think so too?
Yeah, I think it's just gonna come out.
So for you guys again who are watching at home, we've seen a couple comments in chat. This is not a trial character tournament. For all you guys who are watching at home, these are live, very high-end, high-skilled, high-geared Korean players in the fighting over the Arena of Arsha Korean National Championship.
Directly behind us right now,
Yep.
live in South Korea, you guys, in Busan.
We haven't seen Musa too.
Right, we haven't seen Musa.
Yeah.
That's true.
Sorry, I was thinking about it.
Right.
I was going through the characters.
And we haven't seen Striker.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's interesting. But I think we'll see Striker. I expect to see that for sure. No, none of this is scripted. We're just that good.
I hope I am anyway. I've only been in this position in my life twice to be able to do any type of like commentary and announcing, so we're doing the best that we can. We had a choice as creators to decide whether it was going to be Choice and Moreland or me and Blade, and they all very quickly ran over to the Shadow Reader stream. So we're doing the best with what we got, guys.
That we've proven not scripted. We're just, all this is extemporaneous, and you guys can chat live with us, so we can interact with you guys, what you think, if you want to anticipate some of the fights. So, Sabelli, let's break down these classes for us. So, what do we have here?
So we have Ranger, Warrior, finally.
Oh, we do have the Warrior, okay.
And Kuno on the red team.
Now, I would like to see this Warrior go Blade style here today. I believe it can.
I bet you would. I hope they can too. I'd love to see it myself.
Yeah.
This is our second Ranger that we've seen. Third Kuno and first Warrior.
Good observations. Yeah, we see Kuno a lot. Kuno has been showing up in repeated compositions. It's just strong to have. That stealth engage.
I think it'll be interesting to see their choice of ban here, but I think that Archer or the Ranger or the Kuno will definitely be top choice.
Okay, so we have a Witch, we have a Mystic, and we have a Sorceress. This is interesting, and I feel personally that the Mystic is almost a hard counter to Warrior.
Is this the first team, the team that we saw from the first match?
Good question. I don't know. Is this the same team that we saw earlier? Are we still working through the other teams?
Oh, we're still working through the teams.
So it's same composition though.
This is the second time we've
well
seen
spotted there.
Yeah.
Witch and Ranger are the bans. Interesting choice.
Mystic, Sword, Warrior.
Oh man. Well, my prediction goes to the Mystic Sark.
It's insane to hear you say that, Blade style Boquist. I thought you'd be going die hard for that Warrior.
Oh, I
there.
love it.
You're finally thinking with your brain. I love it.
Slavelli, who do you think is going to take it between these two?
I honestly...
Mystic Sork versus a Warrior and Witch. What's the other? Wait. No.
Warrior Kuno.
Warrior Kuno.
Well, you guys know I hate
I don't know
going
either.
against
No, that's
Kuno,
great.
so I think a team that has Kuno has more advantages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is the Warrior side. I'm glad somebody's represented him. We have pretty big damage already on the Mystic, down to 50%, with the Warrior and Kuno doing fine.
The Kuno and the Warrior really have to target the Mystic first to get him out, because targeting that sword, it's going to iframe it, it's going to draw him away.
Yeah, absolutely.
At the same time, they're going to try to target. It looks like they're going for the Warrior first.
40%. Oh, man.
The Warrior's done a
We're
lot less
keeping
mobility to die.
frontal block. Trying to forward charge out of there. I don't think it works. He gets connected with the CC. We couldn't really see it on screen, but the V follows up. He's chased, looks like out of V. Yeah, so we have all 4 players back in the field. Both Vs popped on red, 1 on yellow. So we have a 2v1 on the field. Yellow goes down. One of the yellow teammates did V there. We left one, and even though 2 reds came out of V, they were able to converge as one of the yellow teammates disappeared. And the Sork goes down.
That was unexpected.
The Sork goes down. Now Mystic, as JoeNeverFails mentioned earlier, the Mystic is one of the 1v2 capable classes.
He took out the...
Did that just happen? Mystic did it. That was hard to even see there. I almost wanted an instant replay. So the Warrior's on his back. The Mystic, can you recognize the abilities that match that team right there?
The Mystic came in and caught the grab, caught the vacuum, dropped the damage in a wave orb, and it looks like it just demolished them both in one swing.
That was so quick.
I can't even imagine how strong that
What
Mystic
happened?
is.
That was really quick. So the Warrior, as he was right below the ledge there, goes on his back, so he's CC'd, so we have the 1v1 situation. Mystic has a unique advantage to be able to apply CCs while also being super armor herself. So that's not something a lot of classes constantly have. Mystic and Striker has a lot of those, actually, and we can go into the history of that later. But so as she's applying these CCs, she's in super armor. The Warrior takes the damage there, and just so much AP on that Mystic. With the vacuum, even if you're in block, that's going to move your character. So block is typically a super armor for the Valkyrie and the Warrior class where you cannot be CC'd, but that does not apply to the Mystic, vacuum, or the grabs.
The Mystic is an incredibly strong class, and I would have thinking that we'd be seeing a lot more Mystics in this tournament. Everyone that we have seen has been very good. That Mystic completely carries their team in that 2v1. I didn't think that they were going to be able to. I didn't think they were going to target the Sork. I don't know if that was an intended thing.
It was because of the V. So the first V popped, and that left one person there, and then just the damage, the double CCs were able to break through the super armor.
They were able to capitalize in a bad situation.
And that was fantastic, because usually when you see one V, you see a second V. But we saw one V, and then we saw a 2v1, and that actually reversed the situation where red was at a disadvantage at first.
Now we've got Ranger Warrior.
I really like the way this tournament is built with the banning. That's
Versus Mystic Witch.
We got 3 players right on each other. The other one is actually in range.
Trying to get it with a torpedo with 0 regard for his own personal integrity.
Yeah, the Ranger's trying to get range. So we have Solar Glare from Warrior. We didn't see what happened to it, if it connected or not. Ranger low health though, 30%. Where is that Warrior? So let's see. So Warrior's in block here with the Ranger. Ranger being hunted pretty strongly though.
자, 이동이 다 빠진 상태에서 잠깐 사라지는 모습. 그리고 위치 선수가 말씀드린 순간 다시 빠진 것 같습니다. 둘 다 빠졌어요.
We have 2 Vs here, so this time. Right. So they V, it looks like in unison. One's coming out. We've got 30% on both. Red again on the domination here, taking advantage of the situation.
Did he get disconnected?
We have shotgun.
What was that Mystic doing, letting his boy die?
Oh man.
Did they both be in different directions? Was there a miscommunication that separated them so badly?
I don't really know. We saw there at the end there.
What an interesting
So
situation.
they were ganging up on Mystic, so she had to use escape.
Yeah.
And then while she was healing herself or getting out of the escape mode, they got the other guy.
I didn't see what ended up happening. I just saw a 2v1 for no reason with his body alive. That's crazy.
Wow, yeah. Elite, I believe Warrior was on the yellow team? Was that?
Warrior was the yellow? Red team.
Yeah, okay, so Warrior was red there.
Wait, yellow team? We have to see that again. I'm sorry.
One of the nice things for us to have as commentators be like the list and translation, so we can see who is who.
Yeah.
So we can know, and then we can see the bands and things like that and keep track of it. I'm not as.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's you just
doing
got
great.
me,
You're doing
but
great.
like
you're doing
I
great.
haven't got anything like I just got the
I gotta do a better job
today.
myself. Yeah.
It's
Oh, that's
so
okay.
hard. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's
I
not a
gotta
problem.
try
I
to
didn't know either. We were just seeing if any of us knew. That's not a problem.
I gotta try to keep track of everything the best I can as we go.
So we have 2-0, red over yellow here. We're still using the colors as I can't read Korea, so this is the NA broadcast of the Korean World Championship. So JoeNeverFails, myself, joined with Saveli here. So we're just broadcasting for the NA side of it, giving you guys the best comprehensive commentary of the fights that we're seeing in front of us.
So we got red team Sork Ranger.
깊이
Pardon me,
들어갔습니다.
Kuno
Brilliant
Sork
range,
Witch.
letting the Sork take huge damage there. Ooh, that sword engaged quickly. We have a V on red, 2 Vs. Okay, so we have a moment of recovery. Red taking much more damage here. Yellow full health, no Vs. This could be the reversal, so we've got a ranged, a CC attempt on sword, doesn't connect. We got a knockdown
from the Kuno straight to the
knockdown into the Grim Reaper, and we see that is the damage that the Berserker was so afraid of earlier. That animation is so quick, but when last time we saw that charged up, that Berserker was on top of it. Capitalized on that little instantaneous thing and beat the Sork. That is what we can see if the Grim Reaper connects. It was less than a second charge, and you can cancel it at any time or release it at any time. Well played on the Sork right there. That was fantastic. Very impressive.
So, these matches are so exciting to watch. It's almost too insane to describe what's happening immediately in the moment without going so fast paced.
Right.
They're over in a flash.
Yeah,
it's great
exactly.
to be able to do the analyzation and set up for it. Oh my gosh.
That is pretty amazing.
These guys are very good. They're coming in and taking advantage of any weakness they see as quickly as they possibly can. They put a lot of pressure on that Kuno off the rip. As soon as they couldn't get in range, that Kuno went out for the heal. They'd switch on his teammate, and it was over just like that. 2v2 turns 2v1, turns 2v0.
Right.
We're on to the next one.
Now, I could definitely talk about how the Mystic moves and super armors, but Joe, as we go forward, since it looks like Mystic is in this round, is there anything else you want to say about Mystic's unique ability to fight before we watch this happen?
Mystic is such a great class because it has the ability to keep itself protected as we go in. It's very strong, all depending on the way that their character builds their gear. We're going to see how they play. And it's how do you use it? Do you peel off? Do you come back? Do you start? Do you engage? In that first fight, not the last one, but that one, that Mystic came in, just ran straight at it with an unprotected ability, spiral torpedo, straight at the enemy, didn't even care.
Wow.
Diving itself in, trying to get that quick knockdown.
All right, we have round 4 coming up. 2v1 currently. Best of 5, I believe this is set up here. Warrior uses the E-buff, gets a grab. We have a reckless blow after, oh man. So that V stopped that one from taking the full reckless blow damage. That Warrior really wanted to execute. Still about 20 seconds on a 30% attack speed buff. And we have our Warrior Kuno team definitely taking the advantage. About 10 seconds left on the Warrior speed and an AP buff. Doesn't connect with the ground slam. Grabs, misses from the
It's
Warrior.
mayhem, boys. It's mayhem.
It's just AoE damage as the CCCs are not connecting right now. These only
And
pop
they got
on the
the
heal
grab.
side.
Oh my
Slashing
gosh.
the Dead takes them down. One of my personal favorite abilities. Slashing the Dead from Warrior.
They all got in
man.
the corner. They didn't want to play tactical in that match. They wanted to get it in and get it over with quick. Everybody came in. There was just damage going everywhere, left and right. Goodness gracious.
These guys almost look like fireflies as they're like bouncing in and out and like trying to get that first CC. And a lot of that they almost abandoned the CC game and just said, hey, we have damage. And you guys are just getting hit over and over again. There was a lot of AoE until they were basically in range for Slashing the Dead. To, in fact, slash the Dead. One of my favorites. I like the early E-buff from Warrior. So Executioner buff, that will increase your attack speed and among other things that are really advantageous. The grab didn't connect, but you can see with Warrior, it has super armor and it's block, and even standing in block buffs its AP as well. That was pretty high gear. That was pretty high gear for the Warrior. So that was an exciting. I really like Slash the Dead. It's one of my favorite moves.
So I think they're done with this round. So the Halmane team, the one with the Warrior team, I think went up to the next round.
All right.
Yay.
And I didn't think that. That was not my prediction.
I did not think that either.
Oh, but it was yours. All right.
Yay.
Well done. Well done. That's funny.
I don't know what to expect anymore because I don't.
I know.
Yeah,
we don't know the gear. We don't know the players.
Yeah,
But that is awesome.
Based off of gear and based off of skill, like
Yeah.
I might not be able to use any of my preconceived notions to apply towards what the heck is going on here. So
Exactly.
they might know a little bit more.
Yeah, we just have to
dynamic
watch
what's
really
going on.
what's happening to decide, kind of what their gear is, rather than going and saying they're going to have a unique advantage if they do this. We just have to see what are they doing, basically. So
That was the end of the third team.
Yes.
Okay. So now we've got 8 more teams to show you guys today, and we've got 8 more matchups before we start heading into the semifinals.
I see the questions in chat. So the prize money is $5,000, split between the top 3. The other prizes, do you recall what the
It
other?
was 3,000, 1,000, and something else for the fifth.
So
yeah.
top 5.
Yeah,
top
top
5 teams will actually go home with money.
The top 5.
And I don't think we've seen that before.
Well, this is just this part is the end of the tournament. So we don't know how many players entered altogether.
Right, exactly.
So this is at least almost 50% of everybody that we see today is going to come home with a prize, which is really nice.
Yeah, that is pretty cool for sure.
So for you guys to just to give you a little bit of information right now, they're going to be doing some presentation behind us to give you guys a structure of what's going on and give you the full breakdown.
What are they saying here?
So it's that guy in the black suit. He is main MC for Korean Black Desert Online show, and they're just interviewing the last team that's going on to the next level, next round.
This will be great.
And
okay.
yeah, I think let me just hear what they're saying.
Sure.
출전할 A팀의 인터뷰를 먼저 해보겠습니다. 타격이 어땠나요?
솔직히 좀 걱정을 많이 했는데 생각보다 잘 풀려서 괜찮았던 것 같아요.
오늘 컨디션 어때요?
컨디션 그렇게 좋은 편은 아닌데 운이 좀 좋았어요.
운이 좋았다. 그래서 이제 팀명이 어떤 출전을 했는데
Oh, so never mind. They're not all in one team. They're each team's main leader.
Ooh,
So they're just
team
interviewing
leader.
each team. Yeah.
Okay.
The team captains of the last
Yeah.
3
Oh, I like
winner
that.
teams.
저 어머니가 오셔가지고 게임을 하고
Of the teams of one just now.
네, 그렇게 됐습니다.
알겠습니다. 자, 또 이제 4개의 팀이 있는데 여기서 가장 뭐랄까요? 걱정된 팀, 만만했으면 좋겠다 혹은 이 팀이 좀 걱정된다, 우승 후보 같다 이런 팀 있을까요?
솔직히 우승 후보는 저희 팀 같고요. 네. 그리고
They're just basically asking, how are you doing? Did you come to G-Star last year, or is it your first time? They're just asking,
Quality
daily
of life
questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
만약에
Is this your first time to G-Star?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, mine too.
뭐 할 거예요?
My first time at G-Star, believe
Yeah.
it or not, guys.
Believe it or not, right? Yeah, I've never been here.
너무 심하게 걸리는데 아마 컴퓨터를 바꾸지 않을까.
Yeah, in the meantime, while they're doing these interviews, do you want to talk a little bit more about the structure of the tournament for everybody who's hanging
Yeah,
out at home?
그렇다고 볼 수 있죠.
I think that's the best idea because I don't think they're going in depth
Doesn't sound
for
like they're
the
going into
More
yeah.
personal life details.
Yeah, it's
that-
more of personal
Getting to know
life.
the players, etc.
Okay, yeah.
스모크는 아마도 4명 중에서 넘버원.
All right, guys, don't worry about their personal lives.
Okay, so I'm going to run off to someone that I could actually ask questions about their gears and
Okay, great.
yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm giving you guys the right information. Okay,
Thank you.
I'll be right back.
So one thing I do want to mention about just the culture that we see in Korea here. So out of respect, Pearl Abyss presented us with face masks because what will happen is if any individuals do ever get sick, they want to be very polite and respectful and not get others sick. We don't see that today. And it was also just in case that there's pollution in the city or pollen that anyone might be sensitive to allergies. And masks in Korea are actually part of the fashion statement.
I thought they were all surgeons.
And he's probably serious. That's great.
Yeah,
That's really funny.
it's got to the point where it is a part of like health concerns in society. So not only just traveling and keeping germs away, but smog is an issue in some places. So because people wear them so often now, they're customizing them and making it part of again a fashion statement. It's really cool.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we've seen some really awesome ones. You got guys with like a pirate's mask or a skull on it,
The
like
teeth
very,
or something
yeah,
like
they're
that.
very fancy.
Yeah, so I wore mine most of the first day. Did you wear yours at all? Or?
No, I'm not. I like germs.
I
like germs.
But I think I saw, just about like more than half of us were wearing it because it is just part of the fashion generally. All right, so let's talk about the structure of the tournament. I know, you wanted to
Right, so
that down a bit.
just for you guys who are watching in between a lot of these matches, I know people come in and out, they're watching the stream, they go, what is this, what is this, what is this? As far as we know what's going on for this tournament, this is the Korean Championship for Arena of Arsha in 2019. This is we were watching the finals, like this is the end of it. There are 11 teams, or semifinals, pardon me. There are 11 teams competing right now in a 3v3, best of 3. matchup, in the early stages of this competition, each team is able to ban one member of the opposing team. They can change, they can pick any member in between each and every match, as many matches as they need. We're going to advance to the next, we've gone through 3 different matches right now, and they're competing over the first prize pool of 5 million KRW, which is, it's almost $5,000. It's the give or take.
Right, exactly.
This is to be split up against the winning team.
Yeah, and we saw some unique turnarounds for sure throughout those first couple.
It's so interesting. It's so fast paced. Like, these guys are geared and they're ready to play. A lot of what I thought and expected to happen in some of these opening matches did not pan out at all that way.
Yeah,
it's like one mistake, one misslip, one lack of protection, one movement instead of one attack can really knock you out. And these guys are fighting ferociously, man. It's really great. It's really cool to see. They came out to play. They're not fooling around.
Yeah, and these guys are not soft cap AP. These guys are not on trial characters, so they are on their own gear that they have earned, which is fantastic, and I personally believe the most fair way to do it.
We've got an update.
Guys, so I just got back from the director of this game, of this event, and they were going to use their own gears, but there were a lot of complaints.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
Almost
No.
as if we've seen this before.
I'm so sorry.
No.
It's okay.
Are you telling me right now they're on trial gear?
Yeah.
So these guys are on trial gear from the information that we have been given.
I was so excited multiple
I am
times
so sorry.
talking about the most fair way to do it, and that's not at all what's happening, which is fine.
I am
Which
so
is fine.
sorry.
No, okay, hey, that's good information to have. So what is the trial gear then?
So basically, they give out same gear to everyone that enters the arena.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have any extra APs or DPs. So everyone's AP and DPs are same.
Okay.
So most important on this event and the players is their tactics and skills. Yeah.
Not necessarily everybody's AP and DP is the same as the capacity, so you've got a couple of options in between those gear sets to whether going for like an AP option and an evasion option. So I don't know if we're going to see a lot of play there, but there are some options within that trial character.
That's interesting. So when we saw things like the Berserker kill that Sorg extremely quickly, we saw the slashing from the dead warrior.
I'm so sorry about that.
It seemed to me that it was higher AP versus, lesser gear.
Well, it's going to be less AP, but also way less DP. So I think it's like 250 AP and 280 DP if you're going for that attack gear.
Do we have the numbers? Do we know?
We don't have the numbers.
We do not have the numbers.
It's trial gear.
But we do know it's trial gear.
Yeah.
Have you made a trial character?
Yes.
I've actually never made a trial character.
I make trial characters for EU so I can play
You're
we
playing
can
on
fight
other
people.
servers, that's right. Yeah, so for mine, they're all 56 to 62, and I just play my mains. Okay, interesting.
280, 273, and 300.
All right, so we're getting from chat, so 273 AP, 309 DP. Interesting. Wow, okay, yeah, that changed a lot of what it looks like.
That's not trial gear.
No?
That's not trial.
Getting misinformation from chat? I don't think that's ever happened before.
309. It's higher in Korea.
O'Hare has higher trial gear.
Well, we don't. Learning a lot as we go, guys. Doing the absolute best we can.
Yeah, for sure.
Trying our best.
The new trial gear, and that's
I'm
fine.
not helping either. I'm so sorry.
No, you are.
I wish they gave me more information
Yeah,
prior.
it's okay. It's all good.
You proved everything that I thought was happening was wrong. So that
I'm sorry.
that does help. No, let's actually dive into that for a little bit as we're getting the team swap out before. Samuel, I'm going to start with you, so that way you're not having to contradict either of us. But when you have a competitive PvP tournament over an MMO, where you have this expansive world, you can play it, whatever it is that you do in this game builds resources, you can enhance your own gear. Would you like to see gear that is exactly the same regardless of how much effort players have put in? Or would you like to see players use their own gear?
Their own gear.
You would like to see that?
Yeah.
And that's from a player who's played for how many months?
3 months.
3 months, which is really important to know. A lot of times people assume that the newer players expect that the most fair thing is for players to have equalized gear and to not use what they've worked on for years. But that's really interesting. So That's what I think too, Joe. Do you want to bring a? You don't have to play devil's advocate, but what do you think is most fair on that?
I like both because I like being able to work.
Good.
I like being able to work for my
Advantages
gear
of both.
and show my effort versus. But I also like the skill. I like to bully kids that have more skill that I have more gear than. Obviously, like that's a lot of fun in an MMO. You know the way I run it. So
right, for sure.
Not to take a little bit away from that. What Blue is saying in chat, like the reason why this Arsha is new and like the UI and everything like that is it's showcasing some of the changes to Arena of Arsha and the way that players are going to be able to play in that trial system. The reason why I wanted to talk about the changes is because this is like showcasing all the new stuff because they just got an overhaul. So we don't have all the information. We're doing our best to find it and to talk about it, but to also get you guys excited because that's the whole point of that's the whole point of showing off to you guys. Like.
Right.
We don't know what they're saying, but the competition is different. The competition is it's a lot more intense with that new trial gear. So we're doing our best. That is awesome right there though. So what Blue was saying is that they just got a new trial system of gear that is stronger than it was. It's like full boss a little bit more, and with everything else, with Thieves and Mortales and stuff like that, so it should be a little bit higher than what we thought it was in the past.
Interesting. And yeah, though it isn't my personal preference, or it seems the personal preference of these two co-commentators I'm with, that is still fine because the advantage of having a standardized gear set is it comes down specifically to the mechanics on the field. And that is something where, you know, while it might not represent, okay, this is what you've earned over the years, these are the best players in the world, it does show in a standardized environment who can outperform the others mechanically.
That's why I don't compete in the BSL because
so we have 4
like
teams left all together because they were doing it simultaneously, and since we don't have that much time to go through every single game, so we only have 4 teams left.
Great. Okay. So that's fantastic to know. So updates a little bit. Do we have the names on those teams that are still here?
It was just on the screen, but I'll let you guys know which team was.
Okay. So yeah, for the guys watching from NA on the English audience, you couldn't read it either. That's okay. But it does look like down to a total of 4 remain.
4 remain.
4 remain. So we're gonna have 2 semifinal matches. We're moving right into the finals.
That was who they were just interviewing on the screen, on the stage behind.
4 team leader winners. Okay, right. And yeah, that's a good way to do it. That's pretty quite cool. Let's see.
Okay, so Doctorio and Wandazone is going on next.
All right. So we have 2 bans. We have a Valkyrie being banned, and we have a Tamer being banned. Now, this is not the same kind of bans we've seen before. We've typically seen Witch being banned first, as they do have a protected area. That is going to mitigate roughly 90% of the damage for, I think it is about.
They're also taking 1 grab out of the equation, too. So that's a play.
I guess we're not going to see Shai on the tournament.
I guess not.
Too bad.
That's surprising. These
Joe
guys,
was right.
these guys are literally chomping at the bit to get out. Witch and Ranger, Berserker, Dark Knight. No engages yet. Witch bringing out the pet, throwing a large AoE. Brings a little bit of chip damage down on the Berserker. Berserker gets some range here. So we see the Ranger actually chasing down the Berserker, looking for that grab. Gets grabbed herself. Berserker doesn't follow up though. We have counter CC with group damage, almost fatal. 2Vs.
1v2, what to do? Oh my goodness.
Wow. So as the Ranger was charging there, the Berserker was able to just counter.
And that one goes down.
Well, we do have one down. I didn't even see that. So both went down pretty quickly. Did that first one go down immediately after V? I still thought it was a 2v2 for a little bit.
Came out of V, was in the next couple seconds afterward where they capitalized, came in and targeted, and then after that, very, very quickly after.
Wow.
No wonder why you love Zerk and Shields.
Well, it's as Steve is saying in chat, Zerker it's such an interesting class. It's very bursty. Every couple of minutes you get a Q and you have range. You can apply a large amount of ranged pressure. And what that does is you're either going to have to target that Berserker and then they play off, but like because they can't close in or that Zerker can come in and knock you down from anywhere, it creates so many opportunities
that
to be able to
range
capitalize. Yes,
right.
that Q knocked down from far away.
Oh yeah.
that sets up so much damage. It sets up so many awesome opportunities to just come in and destroy. And outside of the queue, when they're done, if they do get in, you also have grabs. You've got all the grabs to back it
It has
up.
a huge toolkit.
Yeah.
And 1v1 is amazing, and 2v2 is amazing.
It's mobile. You got rocket jump inside and out.
One of the things I learned just from dual practice with Berserkers is that you feel like maybe, okay, you can keep your range, you can get in there and you can get a CC, but actually with a Warrior versus Berserker at the very least, you almost have to like keep your frontal block up as you rotate in the range of the Berserker and stay close, rather than try to be safe because you can't be at range.
Okay, so here we go for the second match. Instead of the Valkyrie, they're banning the Ranger. We've got Witch, Valkyrie, Dark Knight, Tamer. So
And the Berserker.
They
They didn't
finally
want.
banned the Berserker. I think the way that this is working out is because we haven't seen two classes banned the same way in a row. You can't ban the same class twice.
Right.
So that's another element of strategy. Do they want to ban the Berserker first, or they want to ban the Berserker second? What can they do
Good
here?
observation, Joe. Yeah, that could very well be it.
I think that's the
that makes
reason
sense.
why we've seen some of the choices in class
You're
selection
right.
that weren't
We
really the
haven't
first
seen
or smartest.
bans that must
from
be.
what we thought.
All right, Tamer and Dark Knight versus Witch and Valkyrie. Both Valkyrie and Witch have a protected area.
My
That
heart
is,
goes out to the Dark Knight.
heart goes out to the Dark Knight as the purple blades fall from the sky. Not a lot of damage, but a big engage. Witch down to 30% and into a V. 1v2 situation here. We have the Valkyrie taking damage, trying to turtle and get some range, keep the super armor. Her teammates almost out of V. It is now, okay, back to the 2v2. Red heals up. It's anybody's match. We get a V from yellow at this point. Red has the advantage. 2 Vs from yellow. Both yellows are gone. Red really well reversed that situation. Red's at full health now. That was good. Good movement from the Valkyrie early on. We've got full grab. Tamer moving in. Still no deaths despite that burst there. Looking for the CC. Rotating super armor still. Damage though, quite a bit. Down to 0% on the Tamer. You lose a Tamer, you're in trouble. Down Dark Knight's trying to 1v2. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Wait, I didn't even see who killed who there.
I was thinking can't do it, but the Dark Knight was yellow. Did that just say yellow
I think the Dark Knight might have just come and killed both those guys.
That last second animation, was that ability fatal? I couldn't even see it. That was
I
so
couldn't
quick.
do it. It was over so fast.
Wow.
In the beginning, it was very interesting the way that they started engaging.
Wow, that's interesting.
We'll
find out in a second.
The Dark Knight came in with a
Yeah.
feint, so twice we saw their original target that they were attacking. Dark Knight came in and applied one ability and immediately swapped targets. They went for a 2v2. So that Dark Knight team was really smart. They did it twice. Did it twice in that match.
That's
So
crazy.
these guys they're not just going in and saying attack, 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 attack. They're like, hey, let's set this up. How are we going to set this up for the next one for success? The end of that match was wild.
Yeah, I still don't know who won.
I couldn't even see it myself.
After that first V, the Valk was really immediately positioning herself to keep the frontal block up as much as possible, rotate the super armors as she was being pressed significantly on that 2v1, waiting for the teammate to come out of V, and for a while equalized. So yeah, I mean in a second we'll see if the Dark Knight pulled it off. So that's pretty interesting. Seeing what I saw, I don't think the Dark Knight survived that. I thought it went down.
I thought she did.
Yeah, which I know is sad for you.
Let's see. I'm
All
sad.
Dark Knights. Heart goes out to them.
All we can do is wait to see who gets the one.
Right.
At the beginning of the next
Yeah.
match. So this will be 1-1 if the Dark Knight won, right? It'll be tied up 1-1.
Yeah.
Because the
I believe so.
Berserker team
okay.
was the first winner.
Yeah, it is definitely hard to follow with the names not being readable.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's
Sure,
tune in.
yeah, we're
I'm
doing
on
our
the edge of
best.
my seat, that's for sure.
We're going to bring it back to game cam here as we show the Korean side of the broadcast. So we are live right now from G-Star in South Korea. Flown out by Pearl Abyss, actually. We're at the Pearl Abyss booth, the largest booth, I believe, at G-Star. So we don't have a win yet, but we have a ban set up. Banning one of the super armors here, Witch is going, and Dark Knight. Yeah, I do feel that JoeNeverFails is correct.
I think Dark Knight went down.
I think Dark Knight went down at the last second.
It's 1-1.
Yeah, so
It's 1-1.
It's tied.
Yep. So the Dark Knight won that.
Dark Knight won that match?
Apparently.
The Dark Knight did win.
It was
that.
almost impossible to see.
Came back
at that,
2v1 and
at
put
that
the
last
damage on.
How
moment.
did that happen?
We're all trying to figure it out. The Dark Knight appeared to be CC'd. I didn't see the ability that killed him, but Dark Knight successfully 1v2.
Wow, Zerker knocked down from range, and here they come. Force that V.
Engaged the Rangers.
What a start. The 2v1 off the rip. And another stiffen into the V.
Tamer just going ham, bringing the pet out, cutting through the evasion there. We have
Oh my
1v
gosh, and just bullied.
We have CCs as the Berserker is just grabbing and thrashing.
Zerker with the grab to save his life.
He does it 7% on home W from the red team. Goes down 1v2 now. Valkyrie versus Berserker and Tamer. Not an easy matchup for a Valkyrie.
The courage on that Berserker.
Charges directly in. Trying to get the AoE does not connect. Whoa, and the Valkyrie takes the Berserker down. Is now Valkyrie versus the Tamer.
Shredded.
Oh, man. That was a great engage. Neither of the two got CC, but the Valkyrie kept the super armors up, rotated that successfully, and applied enough damage to just straight up kill the Berserkers without exposing himself. Now this is hard. This is hard for a Valkyrie against the Tamer. Tamer has that long distance pole vault which can dive in and immediately grab. But Valkyrie is definitely not a weak duelist herself. Has a kid to successfully do it.
It's whoever gets the first
We have CC on the Tamer, it's on her back. Wait, the Valkyrie gets eaten by the Tamer. Now, when I was looking at that, it appeared to me that the Valkyrie was CCing the Tamer there, but that Valkyrie was on the left there. So that's the one on the back, or the Tamer, while CC'd, win with the pet. Were you able to catch that?
I was not able to catch that.
Right. Yeah, I'm wondering. But the Tamer did take that match, you guys. And really, I think the Tamer is probably the strongest duelist class. As much as I don't want to admit it, I really don't. I think it is. I think Tamer is.
Based on today's event, or
not just based on today, based on various tournaments and the mechanics of the class. Its pet is so effective, and especially being able to go through evasion. What are the other classes that you can think of that have abilities that go through evasion? I know Striker
Any
originally.
class with a pet. So pets go
Pet
through
clones,
and
okay.
disregard all evasion in the game. So any class with a pet.
So the Witch Wizard, for example, pet classes. Does Shai have a pet? I feel like it would have one. It does not have a pet. All right. Confirmed by Sada. Nope, no pet from the Shai, you guys.
So in that matchup, I think the most impressive thing that just happened in that last match was that Berserker came into a situation that it got knocked down immediately at the beginning of that match. So as it was coming out of the gate, it immediately got knocked down. And
We saw that literally from the gate,
You
as
are-
the saying goes, from
you
the
are
gate.
fighting an uphill battle when you get knocked down that quick into a match. Forces the 2v1. At that point, when that Berserker came out of V, he was 2v1 and he had 1% HP left in the sliver of life. He was able to get that grab off.
Yeah.
When his teammate came out of V, he came back and put pressure on. That was what saved his life and kept that match going. So he was almost about to die. First thing he did was just get up and grab. That grab saved his life and kept that match going.
And yeah, I mean, that is what we see from Berserkers. That's why they're so scary.
Berserkers.
So we have a ban on the red team Valkyrie, so the one that was just fighting, and then also the Berserker for the yellow team. So we got a Witch Ranger, Dark Knight versus Tamer. Interesting. Ranger fighting the Dark Knight with a shotgun. Oh no, Dark Knight goes down. Followed up by Tamer, 10% trying to get the block. As the Tamer turns to bring back the block, it was in super armor, it didn't have a frontal guard, and it took damage just through its CC immune. And that was enough to bring him down on the
Just like that. That's what Ranger does.
Oh, it is. It is just what Ranger does. We saw Shotgun. Shotgun actually originally, as the game release, was incredibly overpowered. It just had so much damage. Looked like Ranger was just like bursting lava out. They would melt PCs, they would melt players, the Q cancel.
I hate Ranger.
Ranger came out as a very, very strong class. Shotgun has since been nerfed a little bit on Rangers, so it's not as powerful. But the die-hard Ranger fans can still make it work. And we can see that as in that last match. We're getting shout-outs for Shotgun Ranger in chat right now. Right.
When left to its own devices unchecked, that's exactly what you see, the absolute best of Ranger, the best of competition from that class. Ranger is a class that has a lot of burst, it's a class that has a lot of burst and what it can do, but if you don't get that off, a Ranger can't do much after that. If you can prevent that one thing from happening, you can shut down a Ranger. So let's see what ends up happening.
So now
We have the 3v3.
it's 3 versus 3. Yeah,
All right.
Now it's them.
Wow. All right, guys. New dynamic than we've seen before. We have a charge here towards the gates.
자, 피라미야 노려, 피라미야 노려.
We have an immediate kill on the Berserker. We have a 2v1 Berserker situation. They're not getting any distance. We have shotguns from the Ranger again, which is taking a little bit of damage. I think hits protected area, as they weren't taking a lot of damage after that fact. Dark Knight on her back? No? No. 3 Vs from Red, must have felt pressure. They're coming out of V here. 3 Vs from a full health Red. CC from Dark Knight, execution, the Witch is down. Valkyrie also down, we're 1v2. Full reversal here with the Ranger now. No V, 1V available on the yellow side. Dark Knight's still alive.
I know.
There goes that Ranger again.
Oh! Dark Knight's out.
Never
Sorry.
mind.
Still 1v1.
Tamer versus Ranger. This is scary for the Ranger.
자, 레이저 카이팅 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 해주고 슈퍼 쓰면서
Ranger just keeping range, throwing the shotguns out there for zoning. Tamer, good movement there. I want to see a range grapple from Tamer. We've not seen that yet in tonight's tournament in the Korean World Championship. How will this engage go? So taking the low ground, interesting choice.
Well, they're waiting. They're waiting to run timeout. If they disengage, it's going to come down to that last moment. So
Ranger, there's some high ground for the Ranger. Gets CC'd by the pet. Gets CC'd by the pet. The no capitalization. Didn't see it maybe because her perspective is directly on that post. So either player's game at this point. Ranger doing a great job of evading. You have to kite the pet. There's the teleport. Didn't connect on the grab.
That Ranger's going to want to get off their grab. That's all that Ranger wants to do.
Man,
1 minute left. Everybody's down to 50% HP. It's going to come down to the line.
Smart using the height versus the pet. Good call from Airlink and Chad.
That's it.
Oh,
no!
We do have a CC
No,
here.
Ranger got the grab!
Ranger gets a stiffen, so that was a 2-second CC. Threw in a quick ability and then into the grab. After that, you're on the ground for 4 seconds. Shotgun took that down. And there you go. Ranger clearly able to still be a duelist. I remember one of my first matches in the Black Spirit League, I was using Warrior, my main, and I had to fight a Ranger. It was not pleasant. It was not fun at all. I ended up just barely skating through it. I don't think I lost to that Ranger. I lost to another Ranger later on, but they are still very scary, even though they're not seen on NA as a high-tier duelist.
There are a lot of Rangers that play like predominantly in the PvP community, but I think a lot of people don't play Rangers like their main grinder. So you'll see Rangers in the wild, you'll see Rangers running around on Arsha, you'll see them in the battle arena a lot, and specifically for that reason, there's a lot of people that'll come up and get you that if they can get the jump on you with the grab, and they have enough AP, you're dead.
Yeah, the Ranger has a very quick grab. It really does. And I have unfortunately been on the tail end of Ranger's overworld grinding constantly.
In that situation right there, that Tamer played very passive. That Tamer wanted to wait. That Tamer wanted to try to set himself up functionally and like productively. Tried to use height to its advantage, use the vertical, use terrain, which is really smart.
Interesting when the Ranger actually perched up on the top. So the Tamer took the low ground. The Ranger went to the high ground, which is what I would expect the Tamer might do to try to get that launch in grab. We didn't see that from the Tamer. But the Tamer just basically line-of-sighted, used the building in front of him, and then the pet went in and got the CC. Now, what was interesting, though, that was a CC that could have been the end of the fight.
Yes.
But there was no engagement there. I think it might have been a perspective issue where the post was kind of blindsiding that. But we got to see the CC on our end.
Well, the Tamer knew that if using his brain, if he can use his pet to get in and get that CC, he could have won that match. So I think he was waiting, trying to follow up, put himself in a favorable position, and was able to capitalize. Ranger turned around on him and ended it.
I think that is exactly when that battle turned.
So it looks like right now when it gets down to the last match of each engage between the two teams, that's when it goes 3v3 in the finals. So the first two matches were 2v2, and now we're looking at 3v3 if it gets to that point.
Okay.
Because the first two matches were 2v2, right? Yeah. So that looks like the structure has changed from the semifinals up until this point. It looks like we've only got we're going to have one more matchup, which will be semifinals, then we're going to be going into the finals. Here. So we've got two more best of 3 situations, and we'll see what goes on. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, this has been really exciting so far, and I just want to shout out to Pearl Abyss and thank you guys for this amazing privilege to be here. They actually let us broadcast on our own channels, which is amazing. We did 2 on JoeNeverFails yesterday. On my channel today, we have Choice and Moreland here as well. Sabelli. It's just very generous while we're doing official game events. So
it is an incredible opportunity. This whole opportunity is actually them saying thank you to us for playing their game for the last couple of years.
We can talk about how the developers have affected us personally for hours, and we'll probably get into it a little bit at the next match here. So what classes do we see here? We have a Warrior, and it looks like a Ranger. Is that little
Ranger,
dagger
yeah.
on the back? Ranger? Okay. Warrior and Ranger, which means there was a ban. Didn't catch it. We were so grateful for Bliss, but I missed that. We'll catch that on the next one. We have on the other side of it, Tamer and a Witch. So we have a protected area. It's about a 90% mitigation of damage for 8 seconds. Warrior, super armors, and block. Let's see if we're getting an E-buff. Warrior Ranger is actually a really potent, strong combination. Got a shield charge here. Warrior. We've got a Gravedigger trying to get. Oh, all right. Warrior V's moving out. We have a follow-up V. So that was a V on the Warrior. Follow-up V immediately to not leave your teammate in a vulnerable position. Warrior's up to 60% health. That's fine for something like this. They're both pretty stable. But no V's is a pretty big disadvantage. So we'll see what the next engage is like. Piercing Spear does not connect because Dark Knight blocks. I think Savelli went for a little clap as the Block Knight did not get, the Dark Knight did not get CC'd there. Which holding back, trying to get some AoE damage to fall just in case, and it does hit. It connects from that far away. Let's see if we have the teleport in. We do not still, just, okay, there's the double teleport in to engage. They're all split. We have basically 2 1v1s here with the Warrior Tamer, and the Witch went in there on the Ranger.
Everybody's used their V right now. Wow. This is going to be where the battle begins.
So let's see how Warrior does this. This is really interesting. Tamer immediately gets the range grab, and the Warrior dies. Okay, that's how the Warrior does it. That's about how I do it on Warrior 2 versus Tamer. That's okay. 1v2. And the Ranger goes down.
That was a little bit of a visual backtrack into spectator mode.
Yeah.
You saw he got the grab, and then the Warrior started running
We
off the
could
screen.
see that as a Warrior. I've never seen that before. Yeah, so I was hopeful for the Warrior, but I mean it makes sense versus the Tamer especially. That's exactly what we were talking about in the last couple rounds. So the Tamer has a pole vault. Now what happens here is as soon as the Tamer actually has their hands facing the ground, the grab is almost being triggered. So the Tamer looks as if it is still pole vaulting towards you, but you're grabbed at that point. And unless you've studied the animations and how they will counter each other, that Warrior, you can't really evade it, right? So
that's where experience and practice comes into play.
Absolutely. So the Tamer gets that range grab, Warrior dies, and then that follow-up 2v1.
So if someone is very like myself for 3 months for playing Black Desert, which character which class would you prefer, or would you recommend to me for PvP?
That's a really good question. Joe, what do you think about that?
Recommend for PvP?
Yeah.
Whatever class you want to play.
You saw Dark Knight. She's not. Well, I'm not gonna say, but she's not PvP material, I think.
Yeah. I would recommend the Mystic.
Really?
I think that would be the way to go for newer players wanting to get into PvP. They can CC, they can move without being CC'd, and they apply high damage, basically being protected. And they have a lot to rotate there. They have the same mirror on Awakened class as Striker, and that's an advantage of those two.
Okay.
So diving into the next match here, we've got Ninja Ranger.
Whoa, big damage. Kuno getting in with some
Kuno
AoE.
Witch.
Witch.
Fighting into that PA is not a good idea.
Here. Knockdown not leading to a death or a V. We haven't seen that much. About 18%, still no V though from the Kuno on the Kuno Ranger side. 2 Vs. from the red. And we have a kill here. That was a ninja, right? Not a Kuno? I think it's a ninja.
위치 혼자 2대1을 상대가 정말 어렵죠. 이거 하지만 여기서 유세가 들어간다. 아쉽네요.
Still anybody's match. We have a CC team on red here. Wait, hang on. That was hard to follow with the camera swap. But still, all 3 members are still up. Looks like they're not in a ball. Usually when you see these 2v1s, they're just piled on. But Switch, amazingly, is still alive. It's a bit shocking to me versus this Kuno Ranger. Really interesting. I don't think that'll last for long. We'll find out. Nope, not a lot of CCs.
And equalized. Here we go.
Burst damage from the Witch. That's why she was playing it so passively, waiting for the inevitable 2v1 done.
This has to be that witch that took it back from the first couple of matches.
It must be.
It
Yeah,
has to be.
I think it's on that same team. And now we have a Ranger versus a Witch. Again, I would favor the Ranger in this, but we just saw the Witch turn the tables on a 2v1.
If this Ranger can get the grab, it's going to be over. And if they can't,
Exactly. Witch does not have a grab. It does have a block, but so does Ranger through abilities. Behind the Witch. Wait. Behind the Witch, no grabs there. Grab is not on a very long cooldown. There can be multiple grab attempts, but they're really waiting out. Now we're at 1 minute. Health is capped at 80%. I believe it's
about to go down to 50.
Okay. So there we go. So that's the next tick, 50%. Now it's anybody's game at this point, which has already shown that it has the burst damage. And that could have been it if that was the engage. But it wasn't. This Ranger's playing it very passively. One of the safest playing Rangers I've seen.
They're going to wait for it to get down to the absolute last second.
This
One
is shocking
engage.
to me.
What's going to happen?
Switch trying to get just some AoE range damage on their rotating block. Both on the other side of this block using line of sight. Oh man, double teleport to escape. What is the Witch's plan here? Okay, the range is close.
Oh, it's a CC!
CC, we have snipped it.
Wow, with the teleport to get away. And it's just like that, he gave it back! The Witch pulled it out.
That was crazy. As they're being CC'd. Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
That is absolutely nuts.
Had to jump on the Witch to the teleport and flip it back.
I'm gonna full screen us just so you see the chaos that's happening behind us. We have cheering, we have excitement. It's wild. We have the Witch get CC'd. That did not seem like a 2-second stun or a stiffness to me. That was a CC. You saw the animation, you saw the teleport out, and then as there's like 10% on the Witch, I was looking at that character thinking it's about to die, and I just see the Ranger crumble in the distance. Well, I don't even know what ability that was, but clearly hit him with something that did the trick. This is a very skilled Witch.
That
I
Witch
think so too.
twice has put his team on his back and pulled out 2 outstanding victories today in this tournament.
And that's one of the advantages that you have in a tournament that does gear cap. You know, maybe it's not my preference, but we have clearly advantages to it. You can see the mechanical skills of the players, like the earlier Sword. We can see that earlier Mystic, and this Witch is a very good PvP.
It's one of those things where I hear a lot of players, a lot of murmurs from people in North America that very much so complain about Witch's inability to protect themselves.
We hear it always, and Witch is banned.
I don't believe it.
Witch is banned now. Yeah,
It's going to be a very interesting matchup here. We got Kuno Tamer versus Warrior. Pardon me. Ninja Tamer versus Warrior Kuno.
That was fantastic to watch. We always see the Witch being at a disadvantage in 1v1s, let alone 1v2s. The Witch pulled it off. That is something that needs to be clipped, highlighted, and rewatched for the Witch players out there.
Let's see what they can do without the Witch in this match here.
Yeah, let's see. So we have Kuno Warrior. Warrior there, starting with an animation cancel on Scars of Dust to add a minor buff as he moves out. Warrior in the back line, which is interesting. Pops an E-buff. Piercing Spear does connect. That could be enough. We have a charging shield there. Doesn't quite work with Gravedigger.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Warrior, you're on your back, but he V's immediately, cutting off some of the damage to that first animation even.
It's a little greedy 2v1 with that Warrior.
Oh, that was so close though. I think he was right to go for it. Tamer just throwing his ink pet down, keeping block up. Keeping AoE just to keep himself safe. We have both V's popped on the yellow team. I think that's important to note. And a lot of damage here coming from the Kuno.
Dangerous spin to win.
This is just covering every part of the arena as these guys brawl it out here in the World Championship on the Korea server, you guys. Warrior darting around, doing a fantastic job. Red team takes it. But what happened?
What happened?
What happened, Joe? Tell us.
What do you want me to say?